All right, welcome to the Jonversations Podcast. This is your host, John Roberts. I got a special friend, Trey. Trey, what's your music name?
TreyVon.
Okay, Trey _Von.
Trey_Von. Yeah.
Cool. I just wanted to bring my mans on. We go way back, like 12 years.
Yeah.
Doing a lot of really cool things in the Christian music world. And honestly, when I listened to your album, I had no idea that it was like rooted with Christianity.
Honestly, bro,
You did a real good job.
that was on purpose.
Like, you did a really good, now that I'm thinking about it, you did a great job. Like, I'm not saying like hide it, but I really couldn't tell, but wanted to bring Trey on. Like I said, doing some cool things in the music industry, getting some traction. So I wanted to give him the space to come talk about his EP, not album.
No.
And just show some love and, talk wisdom with the audience and go from there. So Trey, why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah, man. TreyVon Smith from Virginia Beach, Virginia. Grew up here my entire life. Appreciate you having me on. First off, yeah, man. Just put out the EP. That's first of many. Honestly, bro. I'm trying to put in so much work because it's been a long time coming. Honestly, yeah.
Now and from what I remember, like, you weren't really a flashy dude back in the day, but I knew you could play keys.
Yeah.
Like, because I remember trying to learn from you a little bit. Like, we would have jam sessions at your church and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you were like, your fingers were stretching all the way to the 13th. I was like, dang, but I want you to kind of unpack, like, some things. Like, you got married, you had a kid.
Yeah, man.
So talk about it.
Yeah, bro. So we got some catching up to do anyway, bro.
Yeah.
It's been a
minute.
This
is a catch-up session.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. This is the homie. So, yeah, I'm gonna just talk like we're the homies, like just chilling. So, yeah, man. So, married 4 years now.
Dang.
Yeah, it's been so long. Yeah, 4 years. Got a kid. He'll be 2 in March.
Is his name Trey?
Nah. His name's Tahir.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, everyone was like, oh, dude, make him a junior.
Yeah.
No.
See, I'm a junior.
Yeah.
I feel like if I have a kid, it's almost disrespectful to name him the third.
You think so?
Yeah.
I feel
like
that.
Jonathan the third. I feel like it's just like you're in last place.
Yeah. Last place thing.
Like, I don't want to be a third.
Yeah.
I'm cool with second or first.
Yeah.
But like the third is kind of like,
I feel that.
Bottom of the barrel type thing.
See, my thing is, okay, so my middle name is Philip. I don't tell everybody that, but everyone knows. It's fine. But that's my dad's first name.
Okay.
And it's fine.
Yeah.
But
well, guess what mine is?
What is yours? I don't even know.
Darnell. Doesn't match me.
Nah,
that's the blackest thing about me.
I wouldn't have guessed that at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I was just like, when I got my kid, I want him to have his own unique name.
Yeah.
Like, he's his own person. Like, he already got a piece of me.
Yeah,
know what I mean?
exactly.
So it's fine.
So what's it like? I mean, how old are you? I forgot how old you were.
Like 27.
So what's it like being married, like, young?
It's great, man. Honestly, truthfully, it's really like relieving knowing that I ain't got to be out here trying to find my soulmate.
Yeah.
Like, I already got it.
Yeah.
Already got that done. I can worry about
y'all been dating
stuff.
for a hot minute too.
Boy.
Since I can remember.
Since high school, dog. Yeah.
So y'all high school sweethearts?
Does that count? We didn't go to the same high school. Are we still high school sweethearts?
I guess that counts.
Does it?
We'll count it.
Okay.
If she listens to this, she would want it to count. So
I don't know. But yeah, bro. Since high school, marriage is definitely challenging, but it's so rewarding, man.
100%.
Especially if you have someone who truly loves you, who truly, honestly, bro. The only thing you need to have a successful relationship is good communication, obviously.
Yeah.
And then what I think is the most important is 2 people who choose every single day to love one another.
Yeah.
And choose to make things work no matter what happens. Everyone has their like line, like if this line is crossed, then it's over. That's fine.
Yeah.
But like the little petty stuff,
right?
All that can be worked out, bro. I feel like every problem can be resolved with a conversation.
Yeah,
honestly.
I agree 100%.
So, like, if you have two people who's going to work things through no matter what, you know, before that line, obviously, then I feel like you're good to go.
I feel like a good like a good parallel for marriage is like because everybody talks about like this whole Trinity thing where God first and the man and the wife and stuff,
Yeah.
which I think is very valid. But I feel like when you get married and like God's in the center, it takes back to like Adam and Eve before they met the snake and bit the apple.
Yeah, I feel
Like, you know, they're not looking at each other, like want to cover each other up. Like you really get to be, or you're supposed to be, your true 100% self.
Oh, for sure.
And it removes like all that pride and everything, like you talked about. Like if you can just have a conversation, have good communication.
Yeah.
I mean, and you just choose to love each other, then you know you'll have a very successful relationship, friendship, marriage, whatever the case may be.
And vulnerability is huge.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not vulnerable with a lot of people, but I'm vulnerable with my wife.
100%.
Like, there ain't nothing to hide.
Yeah.
You know, and like, who are you going to be vulnerable with if not
your wife?
Your wife. Like,
yeah.
I mean,
like, you got to be vulnerable with her.
Yeah, man. So like,
so what would you say to the fellas out there? So you know, because you know what the climate is, social media.
Yeah.
That's ruined everything. Conversation, like. You said good communication, so like I feel like social media, I don't think its intention was to make communication harder, but it is.
Yeah.
So the whole dating world thing, I know you've been at the game for a minute, but like what would you tell people, like if they're having a hard time with dating and they can somewhat hear God's voice, but they're not quite locked in with it yet?
I mean, it's tough. Especially nowadays, but to keep it simple, if you can just find someone who's not playing games,
yeah,
like that's like half of it right there.
What do you mean by games?
Games as in
like from a dude's perspective.
Okay, from a guy's perspective.
Yeah.
I mean, man, I don't even know these days. Just I guess I say games as in someone who's like gonna take the relationship serious. Like they're not gonna, I don't even know, man. What kind of games people be playing these days?
I think the biggest game, and I'm happily in a relationship too with my girlfriend Monica. She loves when I shout her out on this thing. So shout out Monica. I think the biggest game people can play, and this goes for both parties, is like the whole I don't want to seem too thirsty.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Because like these rules where you have to wait like 30 minutes to text back.
Bro, yes.
Like stuff like that.
Oh, bro, that's like,
or like you can't slide in the girls' DMs on the first day.
Bro.
Stuff like that. Like those are the games that come to my mind.
You just got me started. Bro, that's like high school stuff.
Yeah.
Like we almost 30 years old playing that type of games. Like, are you serious, bro?
Facts.
Like it's a turnoff that I text you in a couple minutes. Like,
yeah.
What?
Like sitting there waiting to like send the text back. I think that's the worst.
I literally used to do that in high school.
Yeah.
Like, nah, it's too soon.
Yeah.
I can't take
like I want to wait 45 minutes before so it seems like I have like 5 other girls trying to hit me up. Man, stuff like that.
That's crazy. Yeah, man.
Now I get it if the girl or the guy, like I'm not going to make this like sexist. I get it if they're not putting in the energy. And you can feel that. But, like, if you want to talk to the person, just talk to them. Yeah. Like, it's not that deep.
Yeah. One thing that is important, and it's hard. It's a lot easier said than done. But it's hard to build a successful relationship if you're hanging on to old hurt.
Yeah, 100%.
So, like, if you've been through something and then the next person comes and you're taking out your old experiences on them,
mm-hmm.
That's a no-go, man. I feel like I said, I know it's hard, but I truly believe everyone should have a fresh start.
Yeah.
Like the next person who you're trying to get to know, give them a fresh start. Obviously, you have your experiences, you learn things.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, watch out for the things that you've experienced
the red
in
flags.
The past. Yeah, of course. But don't take out your old pain on the new person.
Yeah.
Like, that's another thing. People got so much hurt, man.
Mm-hmm.
People hanging on to it.
And I think the most important part with that, because like I had went through some hurt and and I had moved and did all these things, and I took my singleness serious.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't do nothing. So I think that's important too for the guys and girls listening. Just take your time, you know. I don't think we came in here to talk about relationships, but we are.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's all good.
Yeah, it's all good. I'm with it.
Like, take your time, and it's okay to wait. And also respect other people's timeline too. Because like
sure.
you might be healed or like 90% healed, but they might have just got a relationship and they might be 10% healed. And you're trying to get all these expectations out of them only being 10% healed. And you're gonna frustrate yourself because you want a relationship and they might be using like the dating app or whatever for the wrong reason.
Yeah.
And you know, you're getting further and further away from God's purpose in relationship with a woman and a man, you know, what it's supposed to be. So, but yeah, man, it's good stuff. Yeah. So you had a kid.
Had a kid. And we can go into fatherhood. That's another tangent we can go down, bro.
So let's talk about your first blowout.
Bro, all right, let's talk. Bro, so, man, you know what? It's crazy because when we first brought him home, it wasn't a lot that like he didn't have those. So,
oh, for real?
Yeah, not really. Not until it was one night. My wife and my son went to sleep. I was like, you know what? It's been a little while. I'm gonna hop on the game. So I hopped on the game for the first time in like forever, and then I get a call on my phone. It's my wife, and she's like, "Can you come upstairs, please?" And just, oh man, all down his back.
Really?
His clothes ruined.
I heard that you like if you put Vaseline like on their body before, like after they shower or whatever, and they have a blowout, you just wipe it and it just comes right off with the Vaseline.
Shoot.
It might be too late because is he still old? Is he young enough to still have blowouts or no?
Nah.
He's like pooping regular now.
Okay. Yeah. Thankfully. Shoot, I missed that though. Shoot, I wish I knew that back then because probably would have made a couple nights easier.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, being a father, man, it's so crazy. Like I was explaining to one of my homies, like you would expect like your love for your kid to be different. But until you actually like experience it, like it's hard to explain. It's like it's not the same love I have like for a friend or a family member or even my wife. Like it's totally different the feeling I have for my son. Really? And I've never felt it until he got here. Like seeing him come out and just holding him, like it's nothing like it, man. Honestly.
Did you cry?
Like I didn't cry. I didn't. I'm surprised too because I was really sleep deprived that day.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, it was like 24+ hour labor.
Really?
Yeah, man. It was a whole ordeal.
So one thing about labor, I don't mean to sound uneducated, but when women would say like I'm in labor for 24 hours, I always thought they were pushing.
I'm not gonna lie.
Hours.
I thought that for a little while too. Yeah.
I was like, some people was like 36 hours. I'm like, yo, like, how did you not blow up down there?
Yeah, that's wild. I thought the same thing years ago, but
then I was educated and learned that once the water broke up until the child came out,
right,
that was the duration of the labor.
Man, that's wild.
What was that like? Was it scary?
It was, but you know, I try to stay calm, like for my wife's sake.
Yeah.
You know, during moments like that. So, it was definitely. It wasn't comfortable, I'll say that. It was definitely uncomfortable 24 hours. Like we had planned to do like a home birth. Oh, really? Yeah, that was our plan. She really wanted to do that. But it ended up not working out because
Did you all start to try?
Well, she was in labor for a long time, and she wasn't dilating really as much as she should have. So our midwife suggested we go to the hospital. And she kind of got a little fever too. So that kind of complicated things. So that was already one thing that wasn't planned for. Like we weren't supposed to be at no hospital. Well, we planned like, all right, this is what we're gonna do if this or that happens. But yeah, so that was one thing. So going there, you know, you get a little uneasy. Yeah. But thankfully, man, the nurses at the hospital were great, man. Like they made everything a little bit more comfortable.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, man, he's here, you know.
So you playing keys yet?
He be trying, yeah.
That's when I started, bro, like at around 3.
Yeah? That's what's up.
That's when I started playing keys. I was like 3 years old.
Yeah.
Obviously, I wasn't playing nothing.
Right.
But
yeah, I'm gonna get him started. I don't want to push anything on him, but I want to like here, you want to at least know a little something.
So let's talk about that too, because I feel like a lot of parents like think like, I want my kid to play football, you know. But as soon as they get here, like, you know, you don't want to force anything. So what was that like for you internally?
I mean, well, I didn't have like the, oh, I want him to do this, I want him to do that. I want him to like know music. I mean, I feel like that's a given. Like the family,
he gonna get it.
Yeah. But nah, I ain't gonna push nothing on him, man. Whatever he wants to do, I'm all for it. So yeah, when he gets a little older, we'll see what he's interested in and stuff.
That's good.
So yeah,
is he gravitating more towards you or your wife?
It depends. Yeah, honestly, it depends. Like if we're out somewhere, he'll be more on me. If we're at home, he'll probably be a little more on her. But it just depends on his moods. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like what he wants.
Yeah.
So, all right, cool. So, like, a lot happened, you know, in between. I remember you making music. So, like, there's this guy, you might know him, Sean Martin. You know Sean Martin?
I'm not good with names.
Keyboard player for Kurt Franklin.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I know who you're talking about.
He dropped his album, I think it's 7 Summers. I think it's what it's called. And in its introduction, he talks about, like, why it took him so long to make his album.
Yeah.
So, like, you had a lot of stuff going on, and I know in the back of your mind, like, you had that musical thing, you know? So, like, you know, what was happening to where you couldn't drop it?
I mean, honestly, man, it was all on me. It was just...
Not that it's bad that you didn't drop it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm glad I didn't drop it before, which I'll get into in a little bit. But just, you could say nerves. You could say thinking I wasn't good enough, or my material wasn't good enough, or just not knowing really how to go about different things, man. Honestly, dude, I could think of 1,000 reasons why I just decided to hold myself back all this time. But honestly, at the beginning of this year, I just was like, I ain't getting no younger, dude.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's about that time. Like all the homies was like, Trey, when you going? And like I would say like, yeah, I'm really so. And like I got tired, nothing. Like I just got tired of talking. It's like we do all this talking. Like let's actually do something. Yeah, you know. So and like I grew up in a musical family. Like I grew up around, you know, a lot of well-known musicians in the 757. So like I was always around it, and I guess my family in particular, like we were always known for like our singing. Not really our playing, because no one in my family really. Well, my cousins do, but anyway, my family was known for their singing, and you know, my mom and her sisters, you know, tried to do things like in the 90s. And then in the 2000s, my sister and cousin started a choir called Divine Remnant. People in the 757 may remember us. But we just never really had anything like concrete. It was always like, oh yeah, the singers, oh yeah, they nice. But I mean, it never went past that. Dang. So it's like, I don't want that to go into my generation, you know? Yeah. Like, or even just me personally, like, I'm like, okay, I'm going to do something. Right. That's going to stick and be out there. So, you know? So I just got tired of not doing nothing, man. Honestly.
Dang, that's a real feeling.
Yeah,
so like,
bro.
I mean, I know a lot of people ask like, oh, how do you discern between like God's voice and the devil's voice?
Yeah.
So like, talk about how the devil was in your head and how God got back into your head with your project.
I mean, I guess those seeds of like inadequacy, but honestly, bro, a lot like people blame the devil for a lot of stuff, but really it just be us.
That's facts.
It just be us, man. A lot of it was just me. Like I can't even blame the devil. Like it was me, man. I was holding myself back, and I just got tired of it. honestly.
That's a great answer.
Yeah, I can't
No,
even.
I do think you're right though. I think a lot of people do like victimize themselves through the devil.
Yeah,
Which is I think that's a great statement. Because sometimes it really is us just not putting in the work.
exactly.
You know,
That's 100% right there.
I know for me, like, just with comparison kind of being like the thief of my joy, I think the devil was definitely saying to me that I'm not saying like I had like some weird voice in my head,
No, yeah, I
but
feel
just
you.
like theoretically, it was like, oh, you won't be able to do this, like you won't be able to get interviews, like you won't be able to connect with people. But then I was just like, you know what? Like I told you before we started, I was like, I literally was looking at my mic sitting in the windowsill.
Yeah,
I was like, it's time for me to do something.
right.
It's time for me to like learn this stuff and just start putting stuff out.
Yeah.
No matter what people thought, no matter what people said, so here I am now, just
Yeah, bro.
just doing the thing. So what's the main theory? Like, walk me through. I think, what is it? 6 songs.
Yeah, 6 songs.
So it's an EP. What's an EP?
So, so EP is single is 1 song, obviously. EP is 2 to 6 songs. 7 and more is an album. So I'm 1 short of an album, which is on purpose. I mean, it was intentional because because albums are like, they're kind of like a big deal, I guess. But EP is more.
You were just like, just go ahead and sign.
Yeah, like nothing too crazy. Just we do this quick EP. So yeah. EP is what's the word? Not as I can't think of the word. It's
like,
just
maybe like professional.
Well, nah, not even professional. Just not It's just not as big of a deal, I guess. I can't think. I'm having a brain fart right now, but it's just not as much goes into an EP than an album. People would think,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So what's the main context of your EP?
Honestly, it's called The Change, and it's honestly just a journey of self-reflection, realization, choosing to change, going through that change, and then kind of a celebration of where you were and where you ended up being.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. So.
And that's all in 6 songs?
All in 6 songs.
So songwriting is hard.
It can be.
I cannot write a song.
A lot of people can't.
Like, I even tried.
Yeah.
And it's hard.
Yeah.
How did you write that music?
Bro, okay, so I tell people all the time, like, I can sing. I'm not the best singer in the world. I can play. Not the best keyboardist in the world, but I can write a song. That's like my thing. If I had to like give myself like labels of what I do, I'd say songwriters first, producer, then keyboardist,
musician.
Yeah. So that's one thing that I've been doing since I was a kid.
Oh, really?
Yeah, writing songs, man.
Dang.
Yeah, and I don't know. I've always had something to say, and I could always just make things come across in a beautiful way.
Wow.
I guess when it came to music. So yeah, bro, it's something I've always been able to do.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man. It's all glory to God, man. I appreciate that gift. Definitely.
So so talk about that gift. So what's your process in writing a song?
It's not even something that I could like list out, honestly, man. It starts with just having a melody, singing a melody around the crib. I get on my wife's nerves all the time. Like, I just be singing. She'd be like, oh my gosh, you've been singing that same thing for all week. Will you be quiet? I'm like, hold up. I'm getting something, you know what I mean? So it might start like that. Or it might start with me like just on the keys, just playing. Or it just might come from an idea. Like it's never the same. Like,
Dang.
Yeah, it's always different for me.
So
Which, I mean, for some people, they have like a set, like, all right, this is what I need to do to write a song. But for me, man, it just comes.
Dang.
Yeah.
I wish I could write a song. If I would, like, you know how you taking that test and you didn't study for?
Yeah.
And you really trying to like answer the question right, but you don't know what the answer is?
Yeah.
That's how it would be if I were to write a song.
Dang.
Because I can play. Like,
Yeah.
I know my theory, but I cannot put the words to it.
That's crazy.
I don't know. Maybe one day I'll have a breakthrough moment.
Yeah,
but,
man.
So what's your goal with the album? Like, what do you want it to do?
I mean, first off, I just wanted to touch people, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I've already seen it has like a lot of people reached out, and I'm humbled and grateful, you know, that it was able to touch the people that it did.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, on the other half of it, just the beginning of kind of a catalog for myself.
Yeah.
Honestly, because to be totally truthful, I never wanted to be an artist. Like, I just wanted the songwriter producer thing, but I was like, let me just go ahead and
Kind of like your Kanye moment.
I guess, yeah, you could say
Because he was
it like
making
that.
beats,
Yeah.
but like nobody took him serious.
Yeah.
You know?
So it's kind of like a little package of here's what I can do. That's why I didn't want it to be an album too, because it's like honestly, man, I'm not trying to take being an artist too serious.
Mm-hmm.
At least not right now. Maybe in the future, like I'll actually like, yeah, I'm a legit artist. Which I guess I'm a legit artist now.
Yeah, you're an artist. You made an EP.
Of course.
And you sang and played the keys.
Yeah.
And you did everything else.
I did everything. But I guess my point is,
There go that imposter syndrome.
yeah, maybe. Yeah. Maybe. But I guess my point is I'm just trying to build up a catalog to show people like this is what I can do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, that's a good point.
Yeah.
So I think on Instagram you were talking about an opportunity that you had with one of like something where you putting in a song or something. Can you touch on that?
Oh, yeah. Sure. So
You don't gotta name any names, but
well, nah, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes when I'm explaining. Yeah, so my boy Sam, he goes by Caso. He's a dope artist too.
Okay.
Yeah, shout out to him. He hit me up and was like, "Hey, this artist is looking for some music for their next project." And I was like, "Where?" He was like, "You got anything?" And I was like, "Heck yeah!"
Mm-hmm.
But for only had one song. Only had one song that was actually
You were
ready.
scrolling through the catalog. You was like, "Dang, I can't submit nothing."
No, what's crazy is so like it has to be a full complete song. Has to be copywritten.
Wow.
Yeah, and then you send it off, and if they like it, they'll contact you. But I only had one that was ready and copywritten, and I was like, dang, I ain't.
That really puts it into perspective, though.
Yeah,
Like what your gift is, and like when the opportunity shows itself, you're like, dang, I really haven't been putting in work.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's like people say all the time, you got to be ready because like you never know.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I wasn't all the way ready.
So let me ask you this: B list, A list. How big was the artist?
You could say B list.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
B list.
What genre?
It's a gospel, but it's not. Anyway, she's on there. It was her.
Oh, okay.
But yeah. So I sent in one song, but it wasn't really her vibe,
Okay.
and I knew that, and I was like, let me write something else, and then that's where What Have You Done came in.
Oh.
And I wrote that over the weekend, and I was like, yeah, man, this is definitely her vibe. So I sent it in to Alex Holt. He was the one who had the connect. It was through or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So sent that in. He felt it, and I was like, dope. But it didn't really work out with that. But it worked out for me.
Your name's out there.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. I mean, I ain't tripping. But
That's a cool opportunity, though.
yeah, but I mean, it's cool. It happens. I mean, those opportunities are there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be the last.
Nah, of course not. But you know, it's fine.
Dang. So you was really hoping to get like picked up.
I mean, not really, man. Honestly, like, I was just like, whatever. I was happy to just have the opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like,
So it wasn't a failure. It was more so
Yeah.
I need to have more stuff ready.
yeah,
A lesson.
exactly. It was definitely a kick in the butt.
Yeah.
Like you've been waiting
Mhm.
to get opportunities like this, and then when one comes, you halfway ready. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it was definitely a kick in the
So
butt.
how close were you done with the album when the opportunity popped up? Were you in the middle of it? You hadn't even started making the EP?
So yeah, when that happened, that was around springtime.
Oh, gotcha.
So I had songs ready, but at that moment I didn't decide to do the EP.
Gotcha.
You know, so
Gotcha.
yeah, the EP wasn't really. I knew I wanted to do a project, but I was focused on just writing material.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, around that time, I was still kind of holding myself back.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
So are you like a pen and paper kind of guy, or are you like
Not at
notes
all.
app?
not at all. Notes app
For real?
for the win. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
definitely.
So all your stuff is saved in there.
Everything is saved in the Notes app.
Dang.
Yeah,
That's
bro.
pretty cool. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, so EP 6 songs. Like I said in the beginning, you did. I'm not gonna say you hit it, but you're on Apple Music. It says Christianity.
Yeah.
So touch on that with the EP.
So I didn't want it to sound like traditional gospel, obviously. So, but I'm 100% talking about God,
Yeah.
like 100%. You could argue maybe the first song, That Ain't Me,
Mm-hmm.
that maybe could be a different genre,
Mhm.
but I'm talking about more so myself, and it's more of a self-reflection. So you could argue that's not Christian, that's not gospel.
Mm-hmm.
Fine, say what you want.
Mm-hmm.
But every other song is 100% about God.
Wow.
Yeah. So I didn't want it to sound like traditional stuff because honestly, man, it's funny. I had someone I work with closely say to me, I don't understand how gospel artists make money because the people who listen to their music is so small compared to
Like secular.
secular. And
Oh, that's a lie.
well, honestly though, if you really think about it, it's not. Because think about the amount of people. All right, take like a Taylor Swift versus I guess Jonathan McReynolds, since we was talking about him,
Mm-hmm.
and compare the amount of people who listen to them.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay, all right. Maybe
That's a bad matchup.
that is a bad matchup. Okay,
you need
let's
to do
say
like Taylor Swift and like Kurt Franklin.
Okay. Still the same. Like
I guess, yeah. I
way
guess that's
more
true.
people. So it's kind of like that makes sense. So I mean, not that I'm like, oh yeah, if I make my music sound like this, so many more people, but it's kind of like I want it to be. I don't want people to be turned off from it just
Mhm.
because it sounds like something they're not into.
Mm-hmm.
Like it might be some people out there, as soon as it sounds a lick like gospel, they're like,
Yeah, because your album
You
gives
know?
it's like a R&B
yeah,
type vibe. To
yeah,
it.
which is my vibe.
Yeah.
But so I just wanted it to be open for anyone,
Yeah.
and I wanted anyone to be able to relate to it.
Yeah.
So like I'm talking about the Lord, but if you get something else out of it, then I mean that might be okay too. Because at the
Mhm.
end of the day, all of it is a good message.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like all of it, even if oh, I didn't really get God out of that song. Well, what did you get out of it? It's going to be something good
Mm-hmm.
because I make sure that the messages I'm putting out are all good messages.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like my intention around it. I wanted it to be open. Like it's not just for church folk.
Yeah.
And that, that's a problem too. And we can go into Stay With Me. That's the second song
Mm-hmm.
on it. And like I wrote that, I was kind of in a weird place. Like I will never in my life, like say I don't believe in God. Like
Yeah.
there's nothing anyone could say or there's nothing I could experience or, anything for me to think that God isn't real.
Mm-hmm.
During the time I wrote that song, I was in a place where I was just getting numb to church. Not God, but just church and like church folk and just the cliches of, Sunday morning church, the cliches.
facade.
Yeah, I mean, like the cycles you see people go through every single time. You see people up at the altar, for the same things. And like we put on these events and it's the same thing over and over again, and it's like, I just had this thought. It's like, it seems like everything we do is for us, like for church, for believers. And it's like, when are we really gonna do something to get people outside the kingdom into the kingdom?
100%.
So
That's a problem. Like, yeah, that's a thing,
bro. Yeah. So having that thought in my head, I really built up a resentment towards just church folk, I guess. But my resentment did turn towards God. So that's when I kind of had to get checked. And it's like, I'm trying to find answers outside of God. And then I just had a conversation with him. He's like, whoa, just stay with me for a little bit. Okay, like I know you have questions.
You are a songwriter.
I know you want answers. Yeah, like I know you have questions. I know you want answers. I know you don't want to find these answers in a traditional way. But nevertheless, I need you to stay with me.
Dang.
And I got you.
That's deep.
And also in the same vein, kind of switching a little bit, it made me realize, like, it made me think to myself, man, how does God feel when we turn away from him? Like, people are really self-centered when it comes to their relationship with God. At the end of the day, it's a relationship, right?
Right.
And a relationship shouldn't be one-sided.
100%.
But we never think about God. We never think about him. Like, we go do whatever we want. We know he's going to forgive us.
Yeah. Like so, that, like taking advantage of his grace.
Exactly. And it's like, okay, he'll forgive you. He will. But think about how it makes him feel when you do turn away.
Yeah. I was preparing my next Bible study, and the topic is like anxiety. And the story that God put on my heart was Martha and Mary.
Yeah.
But there was another instance in the Bible, I think it's like John chapter 11, I think, or something like that, somewhere around there. And it talks about how Lazarus had died. And it talks about how Jesus went through multiple different emotions. I don't know if you know the story, but he explains that he cried, he was frustrated, he was angry, So I think, like I said, I think people forget that, yes, God is in heaven, but his flesh was on earth. And Jesus was able to have those emotions. So, I mean, yeah, I think that's legit. Like, taking him for granted, he's not gonna be like, oh, whoop-de-doo, like, here's a lollipop, like, thanks for coming. Like, he's gonna be like, yo, like, he's gonna convict you and correct you.
For sure.
For I'm not gonna say using him like that, but that is the dynamic of your relationship. Yeah. And certain things will happen to you, like failure, like falling flat on your face.
For sure.
To say, okay, I'm waving the white flag. Like, I'm not going to do this without you.
Yeah.
And it's always, I can look back in the little instances that I've had in my life that I was not locked in with him. He used certain situations in my life to show me that it wasn't all about me. I couldn't do this by myself, and that I needed him to come through and just kind of save the day, And I think a lot of people have those moments. and need those moments to where he comes in and just kind of like, shows his real grace and power.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of want to take a little pivot for the last 15, 20 minutes of the show and talk about, I don't know if you've noticed this, but there has been a lot of like Christian artists coming out. And there's one guy in particular, I think his Instagram is D1 Music. But he's like, I've heard so many different rappers coming out, all different stuff.
Yeah.
So like, what's your opinion on that with people, so many coming out?
I mean, yeah, I know who you're talking about. I feel him. I was looking at his stuff a week or two ago.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely like how bold he is.
Oh yeah, he's real bold.
Yeah, he's super bold, and he ain't scared of anything they saying, seemingly. But I mean, about the artists coming out, man. I mean, it's so easy to release music these days, man. So, and I mean, I feel like music as a whole is just getting better. People might not feel that way, but I feel like the quality of music, making good quality music is more accessible now.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's a lot easier for people to release music now. Because before, man, like, if you're just talking about Christian hip hop, like, I don't mean no harm, but years back, Christian hip hop was just bad.
It was not that or non-existent.
And it was there. It was just bad.
Oh yeah.
like people would be like, "Oh, you don't want to listen to my music." It's like, bro, your message is fine, but your music is horrible. I'm sorry.
Like K-pop or not K-pop, kids pop.
Yeah.
Like that was the Christian music back then.
Nah, but I mean, like the stuff people are putting out now is actually really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
And people are tired of hearing about the garbage, man.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the violence, the drugs.
Yeah.
I mean, people have been saying that for years, but I mean, a lot of people just want like some real substance. Like,
yeah.
You know?
No, I agree because I think one time and it's kind of like controversial, but so many people, these like big artists are coming out with this, like they're getting accused of like these satanic rituals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And when I went to Something in the Water, I'm not gonna name the artist, but it felt like one.
Yeah. Hey, I feel you.
I
feel you.
It
man.
felt and sounded like flesh burning,
bro. Even like the Travis Scott stuff, like a year or two ago, or however long ago that was.
Yeah.
Like, come on, bro.
I was like, yo, because I know good music and bad music, and I was like, this don't feel right,
bro. Like, bro, see, that's my main thing right there. Like music, and let's even hit on the believers who hate on like Christian hip hop or gospel or Christian faith-based music that doesn't sound like traditional faith-based music. Like, just because it may sound like something you're not used to, or it may sound like the secular stuff, I don't see that as a bad thing, because music itself is not good or bad.
Right.
Like, music is amoral. It takes on whoever is creating it.
Right.
It takes on the heart of the person who is creating it. So just because something got a trap beat on it, don't make it devil music.
Yeah, that's very true.
You know? So, but I mean, music is definitely like a heart thing. Like, whoever is making that music, they put their heart and soul and thought process and everything they're feeling, they're putting it in their music. And when you're listening to it, you're listening to everything that was in that person. Yeah. Whether it's good or bad. Right. So that's why you still have to be very careful about like what you open yourself up to. I mean, that's with any art form, honestly. I mean, music, movies, books, even paintings, man. Yeah. I mean, yeah, man.
It just, I mean, you're right, because I think a lot of people are used to like hearing this Christian music as like what is it, like K-Love, stuff like, I don't know, you ever heard of K-Love?
I don't know.
Oh, K-Love is like contemporary style music. Like raising your hands in the air,
Well, like
so-
CCM?
yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Stuff like that. But it's like it just from what I've been hearing it, like there's been like rappers, R&B artists coming out with like really good Christian music, and honestly, I went on like, I'm not gonna say I'm like heavily entrenched in like secular music, but like I like Kendrick and
Yeah.
J. Cole and stuff like that, and I'm not
Mhm.
taking nothing away from them because they really be speaking facts too in their music and
Yeah,
they
for
make
sure.
good stuff,
Yeah.
But I think there's a narrative right now where it's almost like the industry is promoting like this demonic style, like
Honestly, man, it's been like that for years.
yeah.
It's been like that for years. And people have been saying that for years.
Mhm.
Now I feel like they're being a little more bold with it.
Yeah.
But I mean, you always got to be guarded up, man.
Mhm.
Man, you got to guard your spirit to a lot of stuff.
Yeah, no, I think that's the most important part because, like I was saying, I went on like a 30-day fast of like no.
Yeah.
I guess it is secular music. Like I didn't listen to nothing but like worship and gospel,
That's what's up.
and I was like, dang, like I feel a little bit better. I don't feel so cloudy, so muddy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I really think this D1 dude, like he really is calling out these artists.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm curious to see what it's going to do to the industry.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, these artists are speaking back to him, so that's something.
That's very true.
That's definitely something. Like he has a platform,
Mm-hmm.
and he's using it in this way, and he's getting some response. So that's a start.
Yeah.
What it's gonna do, I don't know, man. I mean, I'm hopeful. I ain't gonna speak against it, and I hate to find myself being numb or pessimistic, but part of me just feels like some of these people are just too far gone. Like it ain't gonna make a difference. But others, it might make some change.
Yeah,
So,
and sometimes you even see like these artists like kind of like switch
yeah.
to like start believing,
Mhm.
So maybe that'll come around.
Yeah, hopefully.
But
Yeah.
well, like I said, man, it's been a pleasure, and I always wrap up the end of the episode with this. So, if you were to tell a new believer, are you a pastor's child?
I am.
What is that called? PC?
PK.
PK?
PC.
PK. If you were to tell a new believer or an existing believer or tell them something about faith and Christianity, what's something that you would tell them?
I would say it's a relationship. It's not about rules. It's not about what you can or can't do. It's about building a relationship with God. And that's what I try to come across, especially in What Have You Done? Like a new believer. Like people feel like you have to change and then you get saved.
Mm-hmm.
But it's actually you get saved and then you get changed
Mm-hmm.
by the relationship you build with God. So as you build your relationship, things will start changing in your life.
Mm-hmm.
So I hate it. I hate it when people are turned off from Christianity because they think it's about religion and all these rules and stuff that you can and can't do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't worry about all that. Just worry about building a relationship with God.
Mm-hmm.
Focus on that first. And then as you build that relationship, everything else will come.
So I think another good question too is, because I know early in my faith, I was looking for this crazy like monumental moment to happen in my life to be like, the curtains opened up and the white dove came down and I was like, oh my gosh, like God's real. And I like you said earlier, I've never questioned if he was real or not. I've always known that he's real.
Mm-hmm.
But I think my parents raised me in the church but they allowed me to make my own decision.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, maybe from 18 or below, I had to go to church. But as I got older, stuff like that, I was able to make my own relationship with him. But like, I think when people hear you get saved and then like all these changes happen. So like, what would be a change that would happen if you could pinpoint it?
It's just lifestyle. And I'm sorry if I'm coming across as if like, oh yeah, your life's gonna be so much better. My bad. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is
Prosperity preaching.
yeah, like no, it's not all flowers and rainbows afterwards. But no, what I'm saying is the things in your life, the way you think,
Mm-hmm.
the way you look at certain things in your life, the trials and tribulations you go through become a little bit easier to get through.
Yeah, I agree.
That's what I mean. And I mean, honestly, man, it can be flowers and rainbows.
Mm-hmm.
It can be if I'll speak personally. I found this peace years ago, hard to explain. It's just this peace from the Lord that no matter what happens, things happen. I get sad, I get angry, but I always have this peace.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what happens, I can be okay.
Right.
You know, like I'm not out here about to go crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, after every little thing or even after every big thing.
Yeah.
Like I'm able to truly say that I'm happy.
Right. That's good.
And that's from, and it's from God.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I mean, it's reachable.
Mm-hmm.
So
I agree with that, and I think there's a lot of things to be really upset about nowadays,
mm-hmm.
and sad about, insecure about.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say too, like speaking personally, just with things that's happened in my life recently with my dad passing and stuff like that. Obviously, grief is a real emotion
For sure,
but having that foundation with God definitely helps just transitioning from different chapters in your life.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was great having you, bro.
Man, thanks for having me, man.
I'm so glad you weren't coughing up a storm too,
Bro. I had
so
to
this
get
man he chugged a whole carton of Tic Tacs 5 minutes before the episode.
It all went down the trachea.
And went down the wrong pipe, and man was coughing for eight minutes straight. But you didn't cough once this whole episode.
No, I think I did a couple times.
Oh yeah, twice,
maybe.
So, but Trey, I appreciate you for coming on, man.
Hey.
Always welcome.
Hey.
And I hope you guys got something out of this. And feel free to connect with his new album. What's the title?
The Change.
The Change. What is it? What is it on?
It's on everything. Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, all that.
Yeah, so go listen to his stuff. It was really good. I have some of your songs saved.
Hey.
But yeah, appreciate you guys for listening. We do have our next Bible study on Tuesday. I don't know what day that is, at 7 at the Assembly Building in Norfolk. So feel free to come to that in person, and we will have a Zoom link where you can attend virtually. So we're looking to build community and just help make an impact and not an impression. So you guys have a good rest of your day, and talk to you soon. Peace.